She wasn't looking for miracles. She was looking for leftovers. Her fingers trembled as she searched through trash bags soaked with rain. Each sound made her flinch. Each night felt longer than the last. And then she heard breathing. Not from the street, not from a doorway, but from inside the trash. That single moment, that single breath, changed her life forever. Some people are born into warmth. Others are born into survival. This is not a fairy tale. This is a story about hunger, loneliness, and invisible people. A poor girl the world ignored, a rich man the world betrayed, and one act of kindness that rewrote destiny. Mia Johnson was born on a night no one remembers. No celebration, no gifts, no warm hands waiting to hold her. Her mother died when she was 6 years old, sick, exhausted, defeated by a life that never gave her a chance. Her father disappeared long before that. From that day on, Mia belonged to the streets. She learned lessons no child should ever learn. How to sleep with one eye open. How to recognize danger by footsteps. How hunger feels when it becomes normal. Other children learned alphabets. Mia learned survival. She watched families walk past her like she was air. She watched children her age go to school in clean clothes. She never asked, "Why me?" Because the streets teach you something cruel. Questions don't feed you. Mia Johnson became part of the city's background. People stepped around her. Security guards chased her away. Shop owners shouted at her like she was a problem, not a child. Some nights, hunger hurt so badly she pressed her stomach against the cold ground to stop the pain. But she never stole, never begged loudly. Her pride was the only thing the streets couldn't take from her. She collected empty bottles, cleaned tables when no one asked, and at night, she searched dumpsters behind restaurants. Trash wasn't disgusting to her. Trash was survival. That night, the rain fell harder than usual. Water ran through broken streets like tears that never stopped. Mia hadn't eaten all day. Her shoes were torn, her fingers numb, her breath visible in the cold air. She walked toward the back of an expensive hotel, a place she was never allowed to enter. She opened a dumpster slowly, and that's when she heard it. A sound that didn't belong there. A weak, broken, human breath. Her heart stopped. At first, fear took over. The streets had taught her to walk away. Danger hides in unexpected places. But the sound came again, a low groan. Mia pushed aside plastic bags and froze. A man lay there, half covered in trash, his face swollen, his clothes soaked in blood and rain, his body barely moving. Someone had beaten him. Someone had dumped him like he was nothing, like he was trash. Mia whispered, "Please, don't be dead." Her hands shook. She looked around. Cars passed. Lights glowed. People laughed inside the hotel. No one noticed. No one came. Mia stood there for a long time, staring at the man's motionless body. Every instinct the streets had taught her screamed one thing: walk away. Helping him meant danger. Helping him meant risk. Helping him meant she might lose the little safety she had. But another voice, quiet, fragile, and stubborn, rose inside her. It said, "If I leave him, he will die." Mia had seen death before, too much of it, and something inside her refused to watch it happen again. She grabbed the man's arm. It was heavy, too heavy for her thin body. Still, she pulled, inch by inch, step by step. Her arms burned. Her legs shook, but she didn't stop, not once. Mia dragged him to an abandoned storage shed near the railway tracks. It wasn't a home, but it had walls and a door. She cleaned his wounds with rainwater collected in a broken bottle, tore a piece of her only shirt to stop the bleeding, covered him with cardboard and her single blanket. That night, Mia didn't sleep. She sat beside him, knees pulled to her chest, listening, breathing in, breathing out. Each breath felt like a small victory. Her stomach growled, her head ached, but she didn't move, because for the first time in her life, someone needed her. 3 days later, the man opened his eyes. Confusion filled his face. Where am I? He whispered. Mia jumped in surprise. You're safe, she said softly. He tried to sit up, but pain crushed him back down. He didn't remember his name. He didn't remember his past. He didn't remember how he ended up in the trash. All he remembered was darkness. And then her face. She fed him small pieces of bread she earned by cleaning tables, shared water she saved for herself, spoke gently even when her own voice felt weak. He noticed her hands, scarred, cracked, exhausted, and yet kind. What Mia didn't know was this. The man she saved was Daniel Reed, a self-made millionaire, a powerful CEO, a man who built his empire from nothing, but success had made him a target. His closest partners betrayed him, stole his company, tried to erase him. They beat him nearly to death and dumped him in the trash like he was disposable. Now, the man who once signed million-dollar deals couldn't even stand without help, and the only person who cared was a poor girl with nothing. As Daniel slowly recovered, memories began to return. Names, faces, pain. But he said nothing. He chose silence, because he wanted to understand something deeper than wealth or power. Who was Mia Johnson when no one was watching? Days turned into weeks. He watched her give food to a stray dog before eating herself, watched her help younger children cross the street, watched her smile, even when she was exhausted. Daniel had known many rich people, but he had never known someone this rich in humanity. One afternoon, black cars filled the street near the shed. Men in suits searched everywhere. Their faces were desperate. When they found Daniel, they froze. "Sir, we thought you were dead." Mia's heart dropped. "Sir?" She stepped back. She watched as the truth unfolded. Millionaire, CEO, powerful, everything she was not. Tears filled her eyes, not from jealousy, but from fear. Fear that he would leave, fear that she would disappear again. Daniel walked toward Mia, slowly, quietly. Then he knelt, a billionaire kneeling in front of a homeless girl. "I owe you my life," he said. "You saved me when I had nothing, when I was treated like trash." Mia whispered, "I just didn't want you to die." Daniel smiled, his eyes filled with tears. "And that," he said, "is why your life will never be the same again." Daniel didn't just give Mia money. He gave her choices, education, safety, a home. He made sure she went to school, learned, dreamed. Years passed. Mia Johnson stood tall, confident, educated, unstoppable. She spoke on stages, helped others like she once helped him, from trash bins to boardrooms, from hunger to purpose. Moral of the story: the world teaches us to measure people by status, but life rewards those who measure people by heart. Mia Johnson had nothing, yet she gave everything, and that single act of kindness turned survival into success. Never underestimate the power of compassion. It may be the very thing that changes your destiny. If this story touched your heart, don't scroll away. Somewhere out there, a Mia Johnson still feels invisible, and somewhere, a small act of kindness is waiting to change a life. If you believe compassion still matters, if you believe success can rise from nothing, if you believe one good decision can rewrite destiny, subscribe to Momentum Stories. Here, we don't just tell stories, we remind you who you can become. And remember this: the next life you change might be your own.